course, the news very much so dominated by the reports of children being forcibly separated from their parents at the border, parents being lied to about where their children are going, being told that they're going to take a bath and then just disappearing. And there being no mechanism for these parents to be notified or reunited with their children. I mean, this is just, aside from the horror of the policy, we're I think just at the beginning of seeing the horror of the execution of the policy, where we have parents who are unable to find their children because somebody forgot to, write in a form as to where the children are being sent. I mean, this is just, it's horrific. It's gaining wider awareness. And, some of the stuff that we have to put up with is the desperate attempts of different outlets to pretend that there's some dissent really in the Republican Party about this, some meaningful dissent. A New York Times piece, leading Republicans join Democrats in pushing Trump to halt family separations. You just sit with that headline for a moment and assess what it means to you. Because when I hear leading Republicans join Democrats in pushing Trump to halt family separations, I think Republican leaders. I think, oh my God, Paul Ryan, who has the ability to end this tomorrow by bringing legislation up that could get 300 or 400 votes if he wanted to. Or Mitch McConnell. Or maybe some top senators are out there saying, I'm not going to show up at work. I'm not going to vote on confirming a single one of Trump's nominees for anything until this is resolved. That's what you would think if you saw leading Republicans. But it turns out Melania Trump said she wrote a letter saying, I don't like this. I hope people from both aisles can deal with it. Laura Bush wrote a strongly worded letter against it. Laura Bush, do you remember who she is? Because she wasn't even first lady in the past 9 years. But apparently she's a leading Republican. I don't know when she was public last. And I will say, good, I'm glad Laura Bush did this. But it literally is riskier for me to come out against this than it is for Laura Bush. And I got news for you. It's not risky for me to do it at all. Laura Bush is putting 0 on the line, ladies and gentlemen. 0. In fact, when she comes out against this, it just means she has to sign off on the op-ed her speechwriter wrote.
I don't know. It's really going to piss off her constituents.
Right, exactly. All those folks who are going out and not having to vote, not having to buy her book. I mean, it's really just, I guess, around the house. I mean, and the idea that this is the leading Republicans. Oh, Senator Susan Collins deplored separations on Sunday. She deplored it. And then she went out. Oh, and let me tell you what the value of a Republican senator deploring something and then doing nothing else is. 0. It is the value of me deploring it. In fact, it's even less than the value of me deploring it, because the people I deplore it, express my deploration to, are going to act on it. All she's doing is positioning herself maybe to get elected. If anything, it's just an escape. It lets a little air out of the tires. So it's BS. And when the New York Times writes leading Republicans join Democrats in pushing Trump to halt family separation. 3 people, one who's elected and doing nothing about it, is not leading Republicans doing anything. It is, where are the Republicans on this? They're nowhere. And this is a pretty low bar. I mean, this is a really low bar. Here are some protesters who interrupt another leading Republican, Vice President Mike Pence, who is the vice president of these fascist tactics that are being employed, and promoting the tax cuts to put America first. He gets interrupted on multiple occasions. And the Republicans in this audience, they're having none of it. 46% of Republicans, 37%, according to polls, support this family separation. And it'll get more. There's no reason to believe that it's going to change. Let's listen to this. This is in Columbus, Ohio.
With so many great Buckeyes on this Friday afternoon at the end of another extraordinary week for America.
Children are being locked up.
You know, the truth is,
boo, we're talking about tax cuts. USA. Of course. Let's chant USA. Remind people who's separating these children, locking them up in prisons.
including our historic tax cuts. Let's hear it for America First policies that brought all of us here together today. But I'm here today.
Look at this hippie radical wearing golf pants and a golf shirt, having to remind people that
First and foremost, to say thank you.
they're engaged in separating children from their parents. It's just disgusting. It really is disgusting, and it's incredibly. It's very frustrating, and there's no reason to believe that this isn't exactly, what the Stephen Millers in the White House want. They want to agitate the libtards, and then the big upgrade is going to be that we're not housing children in cages. That's going to be the big concession. That's going to be the big compromise. There are two bills coming up. And make no mistake about this. I mean, right? Like, it's almost as if we just this same story gets played over and over and over again. What happened to the Republican Party? Where's my Republican Party? This is your Republican Party. They needed something like 22 Republicans out of 230 to push a discharge petition with all the Democrats to get a somewhat humane immigration bill to the floor. 22. They couldn't even get 22. I got news for you. That's who your Republican Party is. If you can't get 20, if you can't get less than 10% of your caucus to act in a humane fashion, they're the bug. They're the bug. They're the anomaly. I saw somebody tweet out like, don't let the Republican Party become Donald Trump's party. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Unless you've got a time machine and can go back decades. John McCain in 2008 appoints Sarah Palin to be vice president. If he has his way, she would have been vice president for 8 years. Don't let the Republican Party be Donald Trump's party. The Republican Party was Donald Trump's party before he even announced. It just wasn't called Donald Trump's party because he wasn't a candidate yet. What a joke. Paul Ryan, I mean, this guy could end this tomorrow. Doesn't.